Hello there my music lovers, I'm Josh Audiophile-Heaven and today we are having a look at FiiO EM5. This is an earbud and it costs $300. This video is going to be insane, so stick with me to see why FiiO priced this at $300 and is it actually worth that money? Welcome back my music lovers. The unboxing of the FiiO EM5 is actually quite good. It has a similar package to FiiO FH7 and FiiO FA9 and such. It has a large package with a lot of extras, and at $300 I would be expecting a lot of extras. Once you open the main box you can find the manual which tells you how to replace the plugs of the FiiO EM5. Because this is modular, you can actually connect the cable of the FiiO EM5 to basically any single DAW out there, because it has a 3.5 single-ended jack, it has a 2.5 balanced jack, and it has a 4.4 balanced jack. It is made to work with anything and that is cool, I like it. The manual though also tells you how to insert foam tips, because with an earbud you will be using foam tips. The EM itself is not quite that interesting, it looks pretty bland, the whole design is pretty bland, but the first thing that comes to you when you touch it is the cable. The quality of this cable is insane. I don't know how they managed to put in such a nice cable. The thing about the cable though is that it is not detachable. Since this is an earbud, it does not have a detachable cable. So if something goes wrong with the cable, something goes wrong with the EMs. But this being said, FiiO is generally a very supportive company. They have one of the best supports in the world. They are always there for the customers, and everyone I know has had an excellent experience with FiiO. This being said, most of those experiences are not direct. Most people get an excellent experience with FiiO when purchasing through one of their agents. No one really complimented FiiO directly, because shipping something back to FiiO, shipping something back to China actually takes a lot of effort, it's pricey, and at the end of the deal you are not getting such a great deal anymore. So if you want to get some of that reason why FiiO is amazing, I actually recommend purchasing their products from one of your local agents. Local agents of FiiO usually have a very good stock of their products, so even if you have some kind of trouble with their EMs, they are going to replace it with a new one. There is something more inside the package. Once you open it, there are the two jacks, the 2.5mm balanced jack and the 4.4mm balanced jack. Those two are balanced and they are for more pricey sources like the Lotto Po S1 or FiiO BTR5 or FiiO DAWs in general. There are a lot of good FiiO DAWs. There is a carrying case in there which is hard. It is going to protect the EM5 like its life depends on it, and it actually does. And there are three selection of tips, foam tips. The main thing about those foam tips are that they are acoustic dampeners. So we have our selection of crisp, balanced and bass. So the main thing is that each one of them filters the treble and the mid-range a bit more. You can actually imagine them as being some kind of high pass and low pass filters. They basically tend to leave the bass alone. All of them leave the bass alone as far as I could tell, but some of them mute the treble and mute the mid-range and the treble. The balanced foam tip tends to sound the best out of them, but it tends to be a bit thicker. Also it tends to have slightly less definition, less resolution and less detail than using the FiiO EM5 without any of those foam tips at all. Now FiiO EM5 is an earbud. You need foam tips for an earbud for the best comfort. If you are using it without those, you are going to get slightly less comfort. You are going to have them dropping out of your ears more often. I think that those foam tips are great for protecting the driver inside from debris, from dust, and also from water and from other ear juices you get inside your ear. I also wanted to share the fact that there is nothing else inside the carrying case, so no cable clip, nothing else, just the carrying case. It has a little bag of silica which is useful. You should keep a little bag of silica in every single case of every EM you have. Having a little bag of silica tends to suck some of the water out of your EMs and actually prolongs their lifespan. The cable of the FiiO EM5 is awesome. This is an excellent cable. It's so nice. Just look at the quality of this thing. It's beautiful. This is what a good cable should look and feel like. This is a high quality cable. It has a separator, so you can wear it around your neck if that suits you. The EMs though, or rather the earbuds, are meant to be worn straight down. I'm actually getting a better comfort straight down than having them around the ear like I would typically do with most EMs. That being said, having them around the ear actually tends to cancel some of the noise out, so if you see someone on the street wearing something that was clearly intended for straight down wearing, but wearing it over the ear, do not get confused. They are not trying to look cool, they are not trying to act cocky, they are just trying to cancel some of the microphonic noise from the cable. Speaking of microphonic noise, there is some with the FiiO EM5. Since it is a straight down design, it rubbing against your clothes actually results in a pretty high microphonic noise. I can hear the fact that I'm doing it, I can hear every single movement, and I would actually recommend wearing them over the ear to cancel that out. They do not provide a lot of passive noise isolation. Actually, they do not provide any passive noise isolation at all. You are going to need to drown the street noise if you are taking a walk with louder music. It is more healthy to use earbuds than it is to use EMs. The explanation is actually quite simple. While you are wearing EMs, you actually have a closed chamber between the EM and your ear. Even if you have some driver ventilation, it is still a pretty closed chamber. While you are wearing them, you tend to increase the total amount of water content in the ear of that chamber, and that tends to increase the amount of bacteria and other living things inside your ears. Ears produce wax, which wax is quite deadly to most bacteria, but still having your ears produce more wax to get rid of more bacteria is not a very good loop. So if you are trying to keep your ears the most healthy possible, you are going to want an earbud. The maximum volume an earbud can send towards your ear is actually lower than most EMs, because the EMs have a direct connection to your eardrum. They can move air directly, and that actually has two effects. First, the music is usually louder, but you can also listen to it quieter because you have less noise from the outside. And the second, you have much better bass definition and bass extension. With something like the FiiO EM5, they need to have way more bass to make up for the lost bass, because they do not seal and they do not isolate quite that well, and the driver itself should be quite bassy despite the final sound being quite balanced to you. And this is what it happens. They put in a driver which is extremely bassy, because while listening to them I could hear a beautiful warm presentation, a very musical type of sound, but also with excellent detail and a wide soundstage. I was blown away. I was just impressed by how good FiiO managed to make the FiiO EM5 sound like. The EM5 is not an average earbud. It is better than the Sinfonio Dragon, which I reviewed. It is the best earbud I have reviewed to date on Audiophile-Heaven. It has the best cable. It is just the best earbud I know right now of. On the other hand, I should tell you that earbuds are not my main thing, and while I am able to judge them, I do not get the same levels of comfort from earbuds that I am getting from EMs. If you are looking for the best price performance ratio, it is much easier to get an excellent amount of quality with great comfort from a cheap EM than it is to get from an earbud. This earbud, the FiiO EM5, actually is on a similar level to FiiO F9 Pro, actually a bit better than FiiO F9 Pro, but it is not quite $300 worth in terms of sound. There are other EMs that provide a similar performance but for less money, and that is something to take into account. Something like the Dunu Falcon C is $220, and it tends to sound a bit better than the FiiO EM5 in some ways, especially when it comes to delivering impact and bass depth. You should take into account the fact that those are earbuds. If we are comparing apples to apples, you are going to get an excellent performance out of the FiiO EM5. It has the cable locked inside in such a way that if you pull on the cable, it is not going to break. The EM itself is not going to be damaged by your day-to-day wearing. It is a pretty good EM. They are quite hard to drive actually. They are not sensitive to hiss, so you can listen to them from pretty strong sources. They are meant to be used with an audiophile DAB, and they do not sound so great out of a smartphone. It is a purchase that you need to think through. You need to think, do I want a high quality earbud or do I want just a good EM? Because the answer to that question is quite important. If you want a high quality earbud, the FiiO EM5 is it. is just amazing, but you need a source for it. You need to be taking into account that it is an earbud, you are going to be listening in a different environment. They leak quite a bit because of their open nature, so music goes in your ear but also goes around your ear and gets reflected and gets out, which means that everyone around you can listen a bit to your music. They are great if you need to listen to music but not be fully isolated. This is especially useful if you are listening at modest to quiet listening levels than if you are listening loud. If you are listening loud, the FiiO EM5 does not do such a great job. It is much better for ambiental music or for listening quieter. It is great for having something playing in the background, which is sweet, which is engaging, which is musical, which is detailed, which has a good amount of soundstage, and it is great for creating a romantic atmosphere. It has a romantic sound. It is a gentle EM that really presents music beautifully. It really shows you that you love music. It is really great at revealing how much we should love music. It is not about loving the resolution, the technical detail. It is not about loving having the best price performance ratio. It is about loving music and having music everywhere with us, even when you don't want to isolate ourselves from the outside noise. I thank you for watching. I hope this video has been enjoyable to watch. I hope you have enjoyed your time on Audiophile-Heaven. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I hope you leave a like on this video if you enjoyed the content. I hope you'll have a lovely week in there, and don't forget to check the video description for links, including one where you could donate a dime if you can afford to. I really hope you will have an awesome time in there, especially if you decide going for this one or for any product I reviewed, and I really hope I have helped you out. Bye bye!